We're bringing you another budget deal here on the Cobra 49 channel. This is another gem out of Palmetto State Armory, a SAR 9, or SAR 9 is what they call it, pistol, but this particular one's a little bit different. They have several variations. This one, I think they said it came with a package. This is the package deal. Now you notice we got this hard case, which is quite large, almost the size of a small briefcase. So let's see what we got. And the total cost on this, when it finally got into my hands, was, let me check on that. It was like 2.5 units on sale, and it was 310 units when it got into my paws. So what do we have? This fell out here. This is really a little bit different. A lot of these Turkish guns come with these kits or packages with a lot of stuff. So what do we got? We got a card, and I don't know what the little, you scan it or something, so that's what we got there. We get a sticker, we get the manual, and we'll look at that in a little bit. This thing is full, and it's wild. So we'll start on this side. Up top here, we have a magazine loader. You know, I have better ones, but we'll keep it there. We have the other half of the paddle holster, which is this, and the paddle holster is over here. We'll get that out. Got a lock. And this here, you got to use an Allen wrench, and you would put it together there. I'll do that later. Underneath the paddle, you have a brush, T-slot, and that looks like a plate that will go on top of the pistol. We'll get to that later. All right, also you have a paddle device that holds 2 magazines, that's a plus. Wedged in underneath here are 2 Allen wrenches. I believe they're needed to put the paddle holster together. Yes, they are. That fits into that. So that is included. You got the Allens, probably metric. Here you have a punch. This is for changing out the grips. It's nice of them. And there's another something over in here. A little itty bitty screwdriver. That's pretty cool. Alright, and standard with a lot of these guns, you get 1 spare magazine in plastic wrap. And you get your back straps, and these little things here, the way this one does, it has side panels. So when you take the grips out, you got the back strap and you got side panels also. So there's 3 sets. Small, medium, and large, and I believe medium is in there. And also with this here, part of the kit, you get a light. Don't quite know. So you have a light there. Let me take a look at this real quick. Yes, and I wanted to check. It says it takes a CR 123 3-volt battery, and if you unscrew this, you will see there's no battery in there. I was wondering about that. A lot of the Chinese stuff comes with the batteries already in. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what one of these things is worth. I don't know, but that's in here too. So your battery's in there, screwdriver, all this other stuff, and then the firearm itself. So we'll take a look at it here in a second. Alright, here is a quick look at the pistol. Comes with a loaded chamber flag. A lot of guns nowadays are having that. We have our past quality control inspection sticker, which will kind of remove that. Don't need that at this point. And this is a 17 round mag, and I believe the other one is supposed to be it's got an extension on it, so I forget what that is. 17 round mag, I'll find out here in a minute. Well, let's take a look at the manual first. Yes, let's look at the manual. This manual is pretty good compared to some that I've seen. It gives you all the, how to safely use the gun. And also it shows you the different models they have and give you the designation. It shows you, pretty detailed, the features. And this is actually a SAR9X. That's what this model is. They have the 2.4 or the SAR9s. They have METE, T's, C's, and they have the X, CX, and then SAR9 Sport, and then going to the SOCOM. And it also gives you a chart listing each model with all the features, which is pretty cool. Shows you how to load, unload the gun, shows you all the features in detail, okay? And also shows you how to use the sights, the whole 9 yards, how to field strip it, what the parts look like in that field strip, how to clean it, oil it, very detailed instructions. And it also, somewhere in disassembling the mag and how to maintain it, getting a little thing off. And in there, it shows you how to change the grips, which some of these manuals don't do that. All right. So, what do we have here? I had one of these I got a few years ago, and I did a video on it. It was a gray one. And that one just had a plain slide, had the interchangeable grips, and it came in a nice hard case with, I think, one extra magazine, the grip panels, and a tool. This one I got in green to be fashionable. This particular one has the cutouts. It doesn't have one of them, like on the other pistols, some sort of a magwell thing that latched in there. That's not here. And again, these are actually a pretty decent gun. They have manual safety. Yep. When it goes up, it's on safe. Now, some people will take those out and put a pin in there. There's another version of this that's even less than this, the Safari. I think it doesn't even come with a spare mag. And you can get that for almost $2. I mean, it's crazy. So, what do we have? You have your, a little bit nicer contour on there. Of course, your two side panels and your back panel are adjustable, which is nice. These pistols fit in the hand pretty good. You have the manual safety, which is ambi. On this side you have the safety, the slide release, and the mag release. I don't know if that's reversible or not. It may be. Not quite sure. And 3-dot sights. And up here, that's a roll pin. I believe that plate we have, it looks like 2 set screws there. Hold on a second. Alright, something interesting here. This tiny set screw fits into these 2 screws that are here on top of the slide. And I'm going to just pull them out. I'm going to put them back. But this plate that was in the bag, it's contoured to fit on top of this slide. And it lines up with those 2 holes. So I guess you would pull them out, and some type of a reflex sight can be bolted down and mounted to the top of this, even though it is not cut for a sight. The SOCOM, I believe, is cut for a sight. I would hold off and fooling around with those screws, because one of them I can't get back down, and when I pulled it out and looked, there's a spring or something under there, so that's something for me to investigate. Also, this little wrench fits in to that set screw on the rear sight, which I believe you can adjust for windage. So, you know, your basic 9 serrations are good, front and back. You got your lightning cuts on the slide. I believe you can pull these out and mount some sort of optic on there. Basic controls, you know. They kind of pride themselves. They have the red, I forget which side it is, the red trigger thing is something that they talk about. Actually, the trigger pull on this isn't that bad. And a short reset. That's about it really to get into it, and you do have a pick rail underneath. The serial number is not there. It's here in the frame. And to field strip it, you know, you clear it, pull the trigger, you put a little bit, you draw back a little and pull down, and your slide comes right off. You know, pretty simple. There's your recoil spring, barrel. I don't think it's not chrome lined, but they polished the feed ramp. Looks like it's got a Glock style sight up in the front there. And like I said, this here, you can just loosen it and drift it. Typical Glock insides. And like I said, with that screw, I think I'm going to have to figure out how to take this back plate off and see if I can get that set down in there. So that's about it. Simple field stripping, you know, to get it back together. You just, you know, get it back like that. Gotta excuse my hands, sometimes they don't wish to cooperate. And then just slide her on back, that's it. I kind of like this gun. I got it because of the color scheme and all the accessories. It's pretty damn cool. And that's about all. Let's take a look at some of the accessories that came with it. You know, and for your paddle holster, you pull that screw out that's in the holster like I showed you, and then you adjust it on the teeth. I like mine with a little forward rake. And then you just turn this down. And there you go. And another thing, I said, could you get the holster, this in the holster with the light on it? And the answer is no. Does it even fit in there? It doesn't look like this particular model fits in this particular holster and locks. Well, I took it apart to make sure I wasn't catching on a screw or nothing, and I gave it a pretty good shove into the holster. Now I can't get it loose. So I'm going to try to go and have to tap it out or something. But yeah, it don't fit in this holster. I don't know if there's some way you can modify that or not, but this is pretty much BS. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so we've determined that this pistol does not fit in this holster. I had to tap it off with a rubber mallet to get it loose. So I decided to see, will the light go on there? And the light does attach to the gun. That is what the little midget screwdriver is for, because that's somewhat of a slotted head there. And what you would do is, this is spring loaded, you loosen it, and what I did is clamped this side on, and then you rotate it because there's like a block in there that locks into one of the notches, and that's how that fits on there. I don't have I guess these on and off switches here in the back, but if you want a light, it probably will work okay on there. That accessory fits on there, and like I said, however you pull those set screws out on the top, you know, they line up with this plate. So you got that accessory, that probably works somehow. And our paddle style mag holder. Yeah, that goes in there. They go in there. But I guess that's just to loosely put them in for yourself when you're out doing your shooting and all that other fun stuff. That probably work. I don't know, they may, if you start running, they may bounce out. Well, I think you can tighten it down. Let me take that back, gentlemen. Yeah, there's a set screw in there, and I think you can adjust that, yeah, to where you can tighten that up to where they fit in. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to say this works. Alright, so that accessory works. So we're good there. The flashlight, and I think this is one of these extended magazines that go on there. Oh. Yes, and I think these mags are kind of proprietary. I tried sticking a Beretta and some other magazine I had in there. They don't work. And this is a little extension that goes on a standard mag base. And that's what I was going to say. This particular model doesn't have the mag well to go on the bottom like some of these guns do. It gives you, you know, protrudes out a little bit more of a grip. You know, when shooting this, I believe you can buy the mags, extended mags to go with it, so you can put 2 mags there, or the standard 17 rounders here. I think that, and it locks in there. Interesting. But I have to look and see what a battery costs for this light. Alright, we'll get the light off, and that's, remember, you need your little handy dandy screwdriver there. The SAR 9X in this lovely green shade of color, as Archie Bunker would say, you know, even though the holster was kind of El Crapola, you know, I don't know, I really would have liked it to have a usable paddle holster, but it don't fit. So that comes with the territory on your budget guns. But I owned one of these before, and they work fine. They're a decent gun, you know. This one's a little bit fancier. And it comes with all this stuff. I mean, the screwdriver, the punch, and all the other things. But this packaging hasn't been thought out well. Everything's shoved in there and shoved underneath. I don't know what these compartments were for or anything. So I guess, you know, I don't know. So even though the holster isn't that good, the pistol overall in general, when you see people review these, they're a decent gun. The only thing is if you don't like the way it fits in your hand, and that's why I had to liquidate the other one. Something about it. I had another pistol that shot real good, and when I was reviewing some full-size budget guns, there was nothing wrong with the functioning in that. It's some of them just fit in my hand better, and some of them didn't. We'll find out with this one here, because at that price point of about, you know, 310 units, can't be beat. And it's a shame the holster is a flop. But you do have a light, and you got all the tools and everything to go with it. And I think it has, you can actually mount a reflex on there with that plate somehow. So, you know, you got some features here. So we'll take it out and give it a try. Oh, and another thing I was realizing, a lot of people don't like these manual safeties. This thing is so low profile, even though it's ambi, okay, and it, you know, I don't know, maybe because it's new, but this thing is hard for me to throw up on and, you know, get to go down, that I wouldn't even bother trying to remove it and put a pin in there. You know, it's so small, that manual safety, it's hard to see. And that one, that's another thing. There's no red thing. It just, when you see it up on the frame, you know it's on safe. So I don't know. Maybe that's why people don't like it. But it's there if you do. So yeah, we'll take it out and shoot it, see how it does. But I'm going to say it's a pretty good deal, even though the holster don't fit. But I ain't going to get that upset over it. Maybe I got something floating around that'll drop right in there. Alright guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more budget guns as they pop up. Alright, thanks.